Wing it. All right. Welcome back to the hood. This is Chillin Green Box with Specks, Thompson, interview. And today's show, we got 2 returning guests and 1 new guest. If he shows up, I guess traffic's bad. But we got Dan Price and Chris Sahloff.
Sahloff, you got it right.
All right. How
Perfect.
y'all doing, man?
Doing great,
Doing
man.
Great,
How are you?
Man.
Good. So, since last time y'all been on the show, I see that y'all have joined forces now.
A little bit, yeah. We're like Voltron, but cooler is what I was told today. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Voltron, but cooler.
I was like,
that. That's outstanding.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 4 of y'all, and how did it come about?
Want me to go first?
Okay. Go for it, please.
So, Homebrewed Heroes was my brand for almost 5 years. And last year was a pretty tough year. Just kind of got burned out on some things and just wasn't feeling as motivated as I used to be. And so Drew from Snowy Works and we were just talking about, bringing our brands together, because there's some things that I do that he doesn't do, and there's a lot of things that he does that I don't do. And so we were going to kind of work together and get that energy back. So, we worked on this through, I want to say, like the last quarter of the year, just working on how we wanted to do it, getting a game plan. We knew we were going to do it in 2025. We didn't want to rush things. And so right before we announced, I talked to Dan. This was early January, and he seemed really interested in it. And it was like, I say this, it's like, you go out and you're talking to somebody, you can't tell if they're into you or not. And it was like, we were just chatting about everything going on. And I could tell there was a little bit of interest in what we were doing, but I didn't know how deep the interest went. So I think Drew and I announced the Homebrewed Comics, the new, like the rebrand, the Amazon, everything that was going on. And then Dan and I kind of had a call one night, and I just asked him, hey, would you like to be part of this? Because Dan has a really extensive marketing background. He's just great with it. I love Bigfoot knows karate. Dan and I were friends already. We worked well together with the dual launch of our Kickstarters. So like there was nothing that made me feel like we couldn't work together. And, he had some things he had to tie up. And then about a month later, we brought Dan on. And I think about a month after that, Dan, we brought Dennis on.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And so right now we have 5 titles that we publish. We have Bigfoot, we have C.r.i.t, we have Caspian Porter, and we have Celestial Knight. And with Snowy Works, we also got Tin Can, which is a collected edition on Amazon right now. We don't have that one on Kickstarters and stuff just yet, because we want to let that one live on Amazon for a bit and build a little bit of momentum. But yeah, so now we're in really our first quarter of things. We launched C.r.i.t in the end of April, April 30th, funded in 45 minutes and still going strong. And then last night we launched Bigfoot, funded in 30 minutes. And just over 50 backers the first night. It's impressive, and that's what we're doing is we're moving everything together. So every book that's published under Homebrewed, whether it's C.r.i.t, Bigfoot, Caspian, any of those titles, it's a Homebrewed title, and we're all pushing that title. It's not. This isn't an indie group. This isn't an indie publisher. So every book has a home here and a team behind it, making sure that it's successful. I'm going to get off my soapbox and let Dan talk now.
I can't quite remember. It's been a year ago. But all of y'all was singular at first, right? Just a one-man show.
Yes.
I was working with lesser-known comics previous to this, and which was a great experience. But and before that was just going self-published completely. Coming on to Homebrewed, it's I love doing the self-publishing route my experience with the lesser known was phenomenal. Just getting to meet so many different creators and the excitement that they had for creating comics. With Homebrewed, it's a completely different scenario in the sense that we're taking, it's we all are very like-minded creators in the sense that we're all very driven, very focused, want can see the brass ring and want to get there. The fact is, though, it's very hard as an indie creator to do everything. You can't do everything and be completely successful, And so everybody at Homebrewed has an area of expertise. I do, marketing is my background. Drew has the tech side. We're running the websites, the newsletters, handling our digital distribution. Chris is right, the figurehead running the physical distribution, wheeling and dealing. Dennis is going to be taking on our Whatnot store and doing the social media side of stuff. So there's a lot of different avenues that, I mean, look, frankly, when I was doing this by myself, my newsletter was for shit. Pardon my language. Sorry, Specks. I'll be better about that.
You guys,
But
it's a bot. I check. It's okay.
okay, cool. Yay. So anyway, I didn't do my newsletter at all. And so every week, Drew's got that newsletter out and ready to roll. That's fantastic. That's like one less thing that I have to worry about. And let me focus in on, this, what I can do from a marketing perspective for all the other titles, and then, obviously we all have our books to draw and write and do, but it's like, but to be able to bring it all together and use what we know to benefit the group is really, we're seeing the fruits of our labors even this quickly.
Okay. I know you say y'all was friends, but were y'all all friends or y'all just associates or knew of each other?
Well, I would say we were virtual friends. I mean, I know all, and I say as a collective we were virtual friends, but individually, me, Dan, and Dennis had met in person multiple times, and I would say we were friends.
Oh yeah.
We, like not just friendly or just associates, or associated or any of that. I mean, we would talk on a regular basis, not even just about comic books, but about personal lives. Dennis and I, we live an hour and a half away from each other, so we regularly get together and go out to lunch, um, hang out like normally, So I would say, yeah, we were friends. The only person we haven't met in person is Drew, and I still think that he's an AI that lives inside of a computer and pretends that he's a real person because he's just he gets up too early and does too many things. But I kid, but no, like I love the whole group of us. I could see all of us, at a con hanging out without a problem. And that was important to me to begin with. Was you got to get along with the people that you're going to be creating with, because we do this. There's a passion to creating, but there's also, I'll go back to this. I talk about this a lot. I was in a band for a long time. It was a professional band, so it wasn't just weekends or whenever. We had strict schedules, we had release dates, we had tours, things like that. And that's a business. And when you have 4 members, 5 members of a band, it's like having 4 to 5 girlfriends at any point in time. And if you don't get along, there's drama, which really inhibits your ability to grow and be professional. So when we were working on this, I wanted people in my corner and that I would be working with that I knew we would have the same drive, same motivation, and not, have to argue about stuff. Nothing's worse than having a day where you're not feeling creative and then have somebody come in with their salty attitude and ruin the whole thing. So,
yeah,
that's why this came about the way it did, and why I honestly, like, I don't want anybody else in right now because we've got this really good thing going, and before we grow any, I want to make sure we can manage what we have first. And so far, I'd say we're doing pretty good. We've raised almost almost $6,000 in 2 weeks for comic books. So not complaining.
Okay. One last question before we go to what y'all got going on Kickstarter. You was work with lesser known comics, and it was a band. Do you think those experiences help y'all in this ordeal with each other? Since you work with a bigger company and you work with a band, You think those ideas help y'all work with each other in this new business venture?
Um, you know, yeah, I think we all learn from our experiences. I mean, it's not just, one experience with one publisher. Dealt with publishers, I've dealt with lawyers. I mean, I did a project for the Stan Lee Foundation years ago, and that was, dealing with POW Entertainment, that was dealing with the foundation itself, that was dealing with a lot more lawyers from Marvel because we were doing a parody. It's you learn from all these different experiences, and helps you form what it is you're looking for. For me, I was looking for to be able to take my fate in my own hands. You know what I mean? And to find people who had that same mentality and were like, you know what, I'm going to roll the dice on us. And that's a homebrewed crit type of thing to say, roll the dice. Hey, you get that?
Yeah.
Look at that D&Ders with my little dice pun. Okay, that was
He's
for
one
all
of
you
us.
guys. No. Anyway, yeah, one of us, exactly. Gobble gobble. Anyway, so, but yeah, no, I mean, but roll the dice on ourselves and really, gamble on ourselves. I'm a gambling man. You know what I mean? Like, I will roll the dice on myself and see what the hell it's all about. And that's what we're doing. And that's what makes it exciting. So, yeah, all the other experiences definitely help form what it is. You've learned from this, you've learned from that. You know what you want, what you don't want. And to be able to say, okay, this is what we as a group want, and everybody's heard. That's a nice part about this, is everybody is heard. It's not like just, all right, majority rules, let's go, loudest person in the room, we're doing this. That's not what we're doing here. That's what makes this exciting for me as a creator, and for somebody who really wants to invest themselves into a company and be part of a team. I don't know, I think it's badass.
That's cool. It sound cool. Sound cool.
Yeah.
So going to y'all got Kickstarter going on right now. So how did
Hmm.
y'all formulate this launch y'all did? Because y'all didn't launch each title at the same time. Y'all dropped them periodically. So how did y'all come up with the concept of even doing it that way, and how y'all even market it?
Want to go, Chris?
It was not that complicated. It was more, what's the time frame for everybody looking like? Because we all knew we had books that were coming out, and we had a time
Uh-huh.
frame, and then we flipped the time frame, and then it was just seeing what worked best for everybody. And at the end of the day, Crit went first, Bigfoot went second, and Celestial Knight and Caspian Porter, they're going third. There wasn't a rhyme or reason other than what schedule works best for everybody. Um, and we knew that we wanted to start in April because summertime, we got to be, making these books for one and getting them out. For two, we're going to pivot to like our Amazon stuff and really pushing the digital stores and the content that we have, because we have a lot of content to push. We have a lot of issues, not personal, but we have a lot of comic books. Bigfoot's he's got 3 that are already out. Caspian has 5. Celestial Knight is about to ship his second book. Crit has 8 printed issues right now, plus a trade paperback. We have the Tin Can collected edition, and we have Caspian Porter collected edition. That's a lot of stuff, So summertime, while we're making the books, we want to be pushing these digital platforms and the Amazon stores and getting that traction elsewhere other than just Kickstarter. Because one of my things that I've wanted for a long time is to not just be another Kickstarter comic book. I want to be a brand that has multiple avenues. And luckily right now with the constant drops of digital, that's where we're at. Drive-through comics we're picking up on, global comics we're picking up on, and fourth quarter, we are launching in stores with Filbo distribution, which is getting a lot of traction right now. We're about to have an ad that goes on TV. We've got quite a lot in the pipeline. So we wanted to get the Kickstarters first, focus on the brand in the middle, and then we're going to close out in the fourth quarter with not just retail, but also another round of Kickstarters. So big year for Homebrewed, and we already have plans through 2026.
That's great.
And real quick regarding the marketing, you were asking about how we're marketing the campaigns.
Yes.
One of the because we are running the campaigns so close to each other, we're able to market in conjunction with one another. Work on do podcasts together, things like that. Also, our live launch plan is always really important to us. The live launches have been really kind of our bread and butter for getting the campaign not only funded but funded fast. We did one for C.r.i.t, and Chris, developed the live launch, years ago, and everybody's kind of taken that, and made it their own. I know I'm guilty of it. Thanks, Chris. You're the best, pal. But we did the live launch for C.r.i.t, and we funded that book in 45 minutes. I mean, that's pretty impressive. A $2,000 goal funded in 45 minutes. And thank you to everybody who backed that night. I mean, that was incredible. We had an amazing showing of folks come out and support the book live on Instagram. And so that, when it came to the Bigfoot campaign, we did the same thing where, funded the book in what was like 30 minutes, and, again, $2,000 goal. And we're so proud of that, because, again, so many people have come out to support the book. When it's time for the Caspian Porter versus Celestial Knight, the Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter book to come out, again, we will do the live launch format. It's a system that works for us. One of the things we're doing to make sure that all the campaigns are getting the love, though, is we are cross promoting through these coupons here. Okay, do you remember when Image Comics did Image Comics Zero Specks years ago? They did. You went and bought all the comics, Young Blood, Spawn, whatever. There were coupons in the back, and you brought in the coupon, and you mailed them all in, and you could buy a copy of Image Comics Zero. Okay. Well, what we did, and it had original stories from all the creators in there. Okay, look, it had Shaft on the cover, and look, there's Troll on the inside. What are you gonna do? But what we're gonna do is, so if you back C.r.i.t, you get the C.r.i.t pink coupon here. And if you back Bigfoot Knows Karate, you get the blue coupon. And on the for Caspian Porter, Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter, you back this one, and then you get that book too. You get the coupon. All 3 coupons have 3 digits on there. You take those 9 digits, go to our website, and then you're able to back the book, or you're able to buy Homebrewed Zero. Okay. And Homebrewed Zero is going to be a completely exclusive exclusive holofoil book that has 30 pages of original content featuring C.r.i.t, Celestial Knight, Caspian Porter, Bigfoot Knows Karate, and Mean Machine by Mo Lubasan.
Mo Lubasan.
All right, and so we're gonna have five original pieces, 5 original works in there. It's going to be a great book, and like I said, exclusively for the coupon program, it's going to be a holofoil cover done by Louise Thomas. So we've got a really kick-ass incentive, and we really hope that people try out all 3 of the books and then go get themselves a copy of Homebrewed Zero, because it's going to be unique enough that we stole it, but it is going to be unique enough for sure. So thank you, Image Zero, for giving us the inspiration for this, and now we're going to go take the ball and run with it.
Yeah, that's a great idea too, because once the books come out, so you said summertime, so it's May. Let's say the books come out July, June, then they get the coupons. They put the coupons together, get a book. That book get to them by August, so you keeping them basically in your pocket. They keep you on their mind. That's
yeah,
and that's the exact.
And it's an opportunity to flex a muscle that we don't. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No. That's your baby. You go. You run. This coupon idea.
I gotta tell you, creatively, it's me.
It was Dan. Dan came up with it, and if anybody knows me, they know that I'm a huge '90s Image fan. So as soon as he said it, I was like, "Let's do it." And I haven't looked back. I've been really stoked about this.
Okay. It's something that we can do. It's an exclusive book, a rarity. And I know that the market, likes to have those rarity books, which is a lot of fun for us, though, because we get to flex our muscles creatively in a way we don't normally get to do in the main storylines. I mean, Chris is doing a project that it revolves around the animals, creatures in his story running the coffee shop, but his daughter is actually doing the colors on the project, which is something unique and different specifically for Homebrewed Zero.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's stuff like that. You know, bringing Mo in to do a story. You know, Mo's been a friend to the group for a while now, and you know, with close ties to Chris and to Dennis for sure. And so for that, you know, for Mo to come in and do something with us, that's an honor. You know, it really is, and we get to expose Mo to more of an audience than he has previously too. So and get his work out there. It's a win-win-win-win-win as far as I'm concerned, you know. And then hopefully people will back it and get to experience it.
Yeah, that is dope. That's dope. What was I gonna say? Um, how y'all main? Well, first, would y'all retail stores prior to this or no?
No, that's the end goal here. So we will be in retail stores come October.
Yep.
Okay. I know typically people do Diamond, but you know they went downhill. So did y'all reach out to this publisher? This publisher reach out to y'all? How did that publisher come about? Or distribution
So
company, I guess.
I met Phil at New York Comic Con last year in person. We had talked online like quite a bit. We had, you know, just chatted. I think we packed a couple books together. You know, we knew each other just from Facebook and stuff. And then, like I said, I met him in person. We've kept in good contact for the past almost, you know, what, 8-9 months. And I saw him post on Facebook that he was working on something right around the time that Diamond was going down. And you know, this, I think anybody's lying to themselves if they say they don't want to be in retail. That's so.
Yeah.
If I see someone say, "Hey, I have something in the works," I just ask, "Hey, what's this? What's going on?" We struck up a conversation. We both respect each other quite a bit, so you know, it was a good line of communication. We've hit it off. He sent over the plans. We reviewed them. I think we went back and forth a couple times on a couple different things, but everything sounded really good to us. And the people will ask, like, you know, why go with you know, a small distributor or a new distributor? These kind of things. We're a small publisher and we're a new publisher. You know, I think that when you're small, if you try to grow and work with these bigger companies that are established, you're just a drop in a bucket, you know. And with something like this, we're able to stand out a little bit. We're able to grow with the brand. You know, that's a big thing. So I'm really excited about it personally. And I think Phil he's done a lot of work. He's going to continue to do a lot of work. And there's a lot of great things that I've seen just in the past 2 months, 3 months we've been talking about this.
Okay. I know it's y'all first rodeo doing that, but in my mindset, you know, me having a music background myself, I view this distribution company being just like, you know, in the music industry, same way. So is it just happy to be a part of one to get your books out there, or does it really matter who picks up your book? Like, I don't want that distribution company doing it because they're associated with this and third, or you just want your books out there? Does it matter?
I don't know. Dan, you want to chime in on that?
I don't know that I
How do you
ever
feel?
really thought about it from that standpoint, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I mean, a distribution company is a distribution company. You get your books out to LCSs. I've never really thought about, you know, I don't know. I've never really thought about, I don't want this, that, or this. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I just want to sell comic books, you know? I mean, like, in the end of the day, nothing but love, you know? Like, let's make funny books and, you know, make them good, and hopefully people come back and get more. That was
Mhm.
always you know, always the drive for me when it came to making comics. You know, when I made comics, you know, since 2007. I took a break for a few years, and my wife said to me, you know, go back to making comics, but only do it if it's fun. And I think that's the role here for me is like I make comics because I thoroughly enjoy it. So to get caught up in this or that and all the, all the bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, let's just make some funny books, dude.
Um, I just heard you
Funny book.
say, make sure it's fun.
Yeah.
No, he's White said make sure it's fun. So prior to 2000, prior to that 2 year break, did you lose the fun in the comics?
I did Specks. I did. Oh my God, I lost the fun of for comics for a while there. It was got a minute. No, but seriously, I had been working with a publisher. There was some some situations where I really wasn't getting paid for my stuff, and that was an irritant. I didn't enjoy that. I had a writer who asked me to write some stuff for his webcomic, and I did, and I didn't get credit for it, and he never made good on that, and I thought that was lousy. I didn't even need money; just give me credit in the print collected edition, and he didn't do that. My creative partner, this is the big one. My creative partner and I, he was burned out, and eventually, he left Austin, and then, fell into a bad way and fell into some drug issues, and then passed away due to that.
Oh,
and
man.
so after all of that, I was very burned out. I wasn't having fun. It was more of a grind than anything else. And, taking a step away from it was a good thing. I needed some time to heal from Bond passing in a big way. And I needed to find my love for the medium again. And I think when I started drawing digitally, I found that love for the illustration of the whole thing. And then, it was like indie comics. Do you remember this, Chris, when they did that indie comics showcase or whatever? And there was like all the creators were doing like Silver Age covers, and it was around December 2020. And they were doing Silver Age and Golden Age covers and stuff. And I was watching this from afar because I wasn't taking part in it. And I was like, God, that's so cool. And then somebody took one of my old characters, and put them in one. And I was like, holy cow, that was awesome. And so that's what got me going back into comics again. I'm like, this is a whole nother world out here in Instagram, man. Like it was so cool. I mean, I was so excited and so enamored by all the creativity going on. And we were, stuck in the house during a pandemic, you know what I mean? And it was just like, look at all this amazing shit. And I found my love for making comics again. And that was like 2021 is when I put out the first Bigfoot book. So it's like, I lost it. I lost it there for a good long time, but I got it back. And I'm really happy about that because I'm having so much fun doing this shit.
Yeah, I don't draw as pretty as both of y'all, but I started doing my book around 2019, and
Okay.
what got me to try to start back drawing was the Inktober stuff. I was like,
Oh, right.
give me a
I remember
prompt,
those.
then I can just draw to it and post it. Yeah, that got me doing it. It was like, I guess I'm in that rabbit hole. Like every month, it was like a new thing. It was like Christmas December, draw December or whatever it is, the Christmas stuff, and like they got it back into it. And eventually, you should do your comic book, and it started, that for me as well. So COVID, I guess,
Oh man, look, it's really one of those really odd things when you say good stuff happened during such a terrible time in our lives, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we lost a lot of great folks during all of that. And, for me, I made so many amazing friends during that time through Instagram and, live drawing and getting to know people over, you know what I mean? It's like, it's such a sad time period. And I have this weird moment during it where it's like, that I've met all these incredible folks, like people like Chris and Dennis and Drew and all the, and just so many people. It all happened then. And here we are now. It's
5 years
funny
later.
how the world works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever get your sense of taste back?
Kind of.
Smell.
Yeah, sometimes I'll stop.
No.
Sometimes I'll get something,
Kinda.
but it's nothing to write home about.
Not really.
How many times you get it?
That sucks, man.
It's like
Sometimes you get
specific things. Like coffee is absolute freaking trash. peanut butter starting. I'm forcing myself to enjoy peanut butter again. But no, it's not anything to talk about. I don't get to enjoy food like everybody else.
How many times you get COVID?
I'm sorry, dude, if I brought up sore subject,
Oh,
dude. Sorry.
no, not at all. I've had COVID
He used to love.
twice.
He used to love food. Now he he hates
No,
it.
I mean, I still like food though. But it's like weird to say because I like the texture of food. I don't like
because you can't taste. Because you can't taste it.
right. Like, but you say that to somebody, you're like, oh, I like the texture of food. They're like, what? I'm like, how it feels in my mouth, and they're like, what? But it's not.
I remember you saying to me a couple of years back about the Cheetos.
Yeah. Cheetos were a thing for a long time because, they were crunchy. I liked how they. I say this. I liked how they felt in my mouth. Not anymore though. I've actually moved on from Cheetos. I don't do it anymore. Cheeseburgers. Like honestly, cheeseburgers are my thing. I don't know why, but yeah, that's become like my thing now. It's
American.
Just cheeseburgers. I guess, yeah.
Maybe.
It's like anytime my girlfriend and I are like talking about where to go, she's like, "What do you want to eat?" And I'm like, "Cheeseburger." I mean breakfast cheeseburger. I don't care.
Cheeseburger.
But it's nothing really depressing. To be honest with you, it's not depressing.
Yeah.
You just kind of learn to live.
Since y'all are collaborating now, how would conventions be for y'all now? Would it be different? I mean, I guess y'all can afford the vendor tables now instead of Art Alley, but how much different will it be for y'all now? You got somebody to help.
Well, I think that, initially it's going to be kind of more of what we've been doing currently as we, because we've only gotten going here, during 2020, 2025. So in 26, I think you're going to see a lot more, collaborative convention events where we're both, we're, 2, 3, 4 of us will be getting together. We'll try and do something out in the Midwest that'll be closer out to Drew. I personally want to get out to the West Coast next year, as well as do the Heroes Con Baltimore, that type of thing. So, hopefully we may, who knows, we may get into New York this year, though. We're still waiting to find out.
Yeah.
So if we get into New York, Chris, you still down? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got that to
no-brainer.
look forward to if that possibility happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but, I think we're going to hit it hard in 26 with a lot more convention appearances in the joint situation. But, for me, I've got some conventions lined up. I know Chris has got some stuff, Dennis too. This year I still am doing a total of like 9 events, through the Texas area. And then next year I'll be back out on the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But we need to get some branding. We need to get some shared branding stuff, some homebrew, table runners and things like that. Make us all spiffy. That's for sure.
We still gotta get some
I know some companies they y'all friends, so y'all should know each other books, but let's say, Chris is at Heroes Con, you're, in Texas and other guys in New York, y'all all have tables at the same weekend and y'all all can pitch the same books. So,
Right.
it's just a homebrew table, with same setup, each, convention.
It's pretty much what we have right
I always
now.
thought that would be pretty dope.
I have a lot of your books. I need to get some Caspian Porter. I have yours and I have Dennis's, but I don't have enough. I don't have any Caspian right now. But that's kind of what we're doing is getting our titles to each other and making sure that we can, have all the titles available on the table.
Mm-hmm. How were the I guess y'all fans or followers reaction to the merger?
Everybody that I've talked to has just
have you?
Yeah, it's all been positive. They were stoked.
Yeah. No, nobody said you son of a bit. None of that. I didn't get any of that. No, it was everybody. was like, this seems like, I had a lot of people say this seems like the best move for you. I mean, like for me personally, like they were like, yeah, this seems perfect. And that made me feel really good walking in the door, especially because I already had a good feeling about this in the first place. You know what I mean? And I think that when it was funny, I went to a con here in Austin called Staple, and we had a press release go out, and it hit the Associated Press about the formation of Homebrewed. And so it had been, I think it had been out maybe like 2 or 3 days, and I went to the convention, and it was an indie comic convention. I mean, it's nothing but players like us, and they were like, "Hey, man, heard you got a new company going on. What's going on?" They're all like, it was really funny. I said, "There's stuff I can talk about. There's stuff I can't," and it was, but there's that excitement, there's that buzz going on right now, and I think that we've grabbed people's attention a little bit here, over here, and we're gonna continue to make some loud noises and hopefully put out some great books and maintain and build on the audience we already have now and take it to the next level. It sounds like so Randy Savage, take it to the next level. Yeah, I mean, take it to the limit. Anyway, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah, everyone has been very supportive, but
so.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's good. You're delayed, Chris. It's cool. You can go.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, everyone's been very supportive of this since we announced it. They were supportive of Drew and I. They were supportive of Dan joining. They were supportive of Dennis, and I think that's because for so long we've been friendly. We've been working together. Like we said, Dan and I launched our Kickstarters back to back, or not to back to back. We launched them together. We did a live together promoting both of them at the same time.
Simultaneously, yeah.
And funded almost at the same time. Like we were funding within minutes of each other that night. And I don't know. No one's really had anything else to say except for they're excited for us and they're happy for us. I haven't had one envious person. Honestly, I haven't even had anybody saying, "When are you going to take me on?" Because that's like one of the things that you expect is the with him from everybody. Like, what's in it for me when they see people start working together, and that's actually been really refreshing. People are just watching and enjoying the fact that we're doing it. Yeah. We're doing what a lot of people say they want to do, and I think that's because we've got 4 people together that, I mean, we have weekly meetings. Our chat starts at 4 a.m. every day. With what are we doing? What do we got going on? What do we need to do today? And honestly, sometimes there is that discussion of like, hey, we need you to do this today. Like I got in chat before here and I said, Drew, I need you to fix the website. And Drew's going to go in and fix the website. And even like some of the conversations you don't want to have, which are like, hey, I need you to go in and comment on posts and share posts because, it's an awkward conversation, but we all have those and we have no issues. It's not like there's animosity. It's, oh yeah, I need to do that, don't I? Okay, let me get in and support the team. Sorry, I had a long day at work. And that's how we operate on a daily basis. I don't know. It's honestly like, it's really refreshing from internal and then seeing the respect and the positive, feedback from just our mutual friends and creative teams has just been great.
That's great. I was want to ask something. Crap. Trying to thought gone. Dang, it's gone. Oh, Kickstarter. What is new on y'all Kickstarters that I guess previously not? There was something like besides new issue or new chapters. What's new on the Kickstarter?
Like new as far as
first, Chris.
Like
coupons. Besides coupons,
we have the coupons.
Yeah, go ahead.
So with Crit, this is issue 8. It's technically the 9th issue. It's titled "He Who Would Be King." I'm introducing, the original superhero in my universe, which is King Arthur. And That's a big deal for me because I've been waiting to tell the world that Crit is an Arthurian superhero title, um, which is pretty awesome. So that's like the big part of it. But it's also 5 years for me. This Kickstarter is my 5 year anniversary of doing Crit and being in comic books. So I remastered issue 1, which actually I got the non-retail versions and non-Kickstarter editions today because I have a con coming up and I wanted to see what they look like. So I'll open them with you guys real quick. So we have issue 1, which will
All
be a
right.
foil. That'll be there. So I just got these puppies in. These are going to be con editions. They're not foil. They don't have any additional
Oh,
bonuses
nice.
or anything like that. These are, just reprinted with all the new branding on it for issue 1. But I have the remaster on Kickstarter, which is a foil cover. That is a big deal because I did the flats for it, I did the cover for it, and Nestor Adula did shading and like all the details over my colors. So kind of cool that I've done almost everything in issue 1. And then I have a remastered issue 5. The ending of issue 5 is being redrawn by Robert Nix. So that's getting done right now. And
I know him.
yeah.
He's great. Yeah.
Oh, Robert Nix is the man. I love his artwork so much. So, really there's 3 books on this Kickstarter, and you can start anywhere with Crit. You don't have to jump in at issue 1. You can jump in anywhere because it's written like a cartoon, like a Saturday morning cartoon. I give you a little like breakdown at the beginning of what's going on, and you can jump in. You know all the characters. It's good to go. But I'm stoked, man. Like 5 years, my 9th issue. We got a lot going on. We have T-shirts, which you can't do a Kickstarter without T-shirts. You can't do a Kickstarter without stickers. So both of those are on there. We just unlocked the first stretch goal. And I've got whiskey glasses, which are listed as rock glasses because we can't promote whiskey and alcohol on our Kickstarter page. But they're there.
Huh.
And I'm also doing a metal cover. There's a bunch of beautiful covers by a bunch of different artists, including Lewis and Robert Nix and Mo. So I would strongly urge everyone to go to homebrewedcomics.com and check out all of our Kickstarters. Dan, what do you got new on yours?
I got new on mine. Let me tell you what I got new on mine. I got answers. Specs. That's what I'm bringing to the table this time around.
Okay.
We've been giving you question after question after question for the last couple of issues of Bigfoot Knows Karate. So this time around, we're giving you the straight dope, or is it some dope giving it to you straight? I don't know, but this is what's happening. So we got the regular edition of the book with my cover. We got the deluxe edition, virgin variant with Adam Caswell doing the cover of that. We got Jay Hausa, or Ghost Hausa as he likes to be called, doing the artwork on our deluxe limited cover. And then we have a holofoil by Louise Thomas, who is also the colorist on Crit, just so you know. So we have some amazing covers. The belt is on the line again this time around. So if you would like to back the belt, you can back the belt, and $450. I will sell you the belt with signature on it and all the comics for the release. So that is the championship pack right there. So you do have that. But yeah, no, the big thing is don't forget your Homebrewed Zero. You got to get these coupons by backing each of the campaigns, and then you can get the opportunity to purchase a Homebrewed Zero holofoil cover. Amazing stuff. But yeah, no, the campaign's kicking ass. I'm taking names. We're both you got some good campaigns going on here, and really excited to just get the word out about them for sure. And one thing I do want to mention about the deluxe edition, it's not just different covers. Specs, are you a DVD guy? Do you like physical media still?
Book wise, the DVDs now. I got kids, man. They're scratching book.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. But I was a big fan of the special features on a DVD. I loved director's commentaries. I loved all the extra, bonus features and shit. And so we have, Bigfoot Knows Karate. We've been really lucky. We've received over 250 pieces of fan art. So I always put in a art gallery in the back of each of our deluxe editions. This go around, the gentlemen from the Odd Contenders are contributing a large chunk of the artwork that is going in the back of the book. The Odd Contenders are a great drawing group that you can find on Instagram. Look them up, Odd Contenders, and check them out. And then we've also got our director's commentary that we will be doing in the books on our deluxe editions as well. So there's a lot of little special extras that you can get in the deluxe editions that do not come in the regular edition. So check those out. That's it. That's my Kickstarter soapbox. Mic drop. I'm out. Go ahead.
That's dope. That's great. Definitely be checking y'all out. I don't know if I got the Bigfoot nose crazy last time. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen if I did. But
check it out. If you haven't, man, I'll throw some extras in the pack for you.
Okay. And anything else y'all want to bring up before I close the show out?
Yeah. Sadly,
besides our campaigns.
What?
Sorry, Chris. There's a delay, buddy. So
you got a delay.
You got to delay a little bit, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I apologize. My internet must be going slow. But we have, Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter launching June 21st. So, you've heard us talk about the coupons. Yep. You back every single book. And I think a big thing that I would like to express that we haven't touched base on, if you miss my Kickstarter for C.r.i.t or Dan's Kickstarter for Bigfoot, you can always jump on right in June with, CK versus CP. And there will be a tier, the catch-up tier for the coupon. And that will include mine and Dan's. And on Dan's Kickstarter, the day mine ends, there's a tier on his as well. So you don't have to, if you're listening to this, between May 30th and June 21st, you're not missing out on anything. As long as these campaigns are running, you're able to go in and take part of this. So homebrewedcomics.com is the home for all the links. It's a lot easier than trying to tell you how to navigate Kickstarter. Just go to homebrewedcomics.com. Landing page has everybody's pages on there, and you can check it out.
Yeah, but just because you can back later on C.r.i.t or Bigfoot Knows Karate doesn't mean you should. Go check out C.r.i.t today. It's active, it's live, it's going, it's bumping hard. So make sure to go be a part of that, because if you wait for mine, you miss out on his stretch goals. So
yeah.
And my metal covers.
Right, man. Great metal covers. Oh yeah.
There you go, metal covers. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, yeah, glad to have y'all back on the show, man.
Thanks for having us.
Y'all are the second repeat guest I've had on my show. So it's great. Means I make a good show. People want to come back on.
Absolutely.
And, definitely be checking out the Kickstarters and following y'all big branding. I like marketing. I went to school for marketing myself, so when I seen Chris dropping it, and I'm friends with 3 of y'all on Instagram, so I seen everybody playing their part. I was like, man, it's great. It's great marketing, man. And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Game respects game, right? So,
yeah.
There you go.
All right. And that's all I got, man. It's dope. We're out.
Awesome.